first episode of Ebbs and Flows, so pumped for it. I played with Nighty back in the day at 20s, bit of a troublesome kid back then, but he's turned around, and Jai's always been a pleasure to hang around with on the piss, so let's dive into the podcast. It's going to be a goodie. Let's go.
Frothing like a dog, like, give me the ball.
Is it hiding the ringworm?
It wasn't exactly a right decision. I feel like I should go to rehab. It's pretty fun.
He sort of changed the way, I think about life.
Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of Ebbs and Flows, where we talk about the highs and lows, the ins and outs, affairs and doubts on and off the field. First of all, thank you to our brand new partner, Sporting News Australia, for putting this production together. Joined today by a couple good friends of mine, good friend of mine, played with him a couple of times, but Jai, Arrow, Liam Knight. Thanks for jumping on, boys.
That flowed very well, the intro, very well done. That's a orchestrated, you've practiced in the mirror.
I literally practiced that this morning.
Really? That's good.
In the mirror?
Yeah.
Nah, just going on a bit of a walk with the dog and just going, welcome back to the Ebbs and Flows.
3
the highs and lows.
3 a.m?
Nah, 3:30.
Oh, yeah, sleep in.
Boys, thanks for jumping on. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks for having us.
Souths boys obviously in a bit of form right now. You guys have been close a couple years. Is there something different about your team this year? From an outsider looking in, I'm watching yous and I'm going, fuck, these guys are starting to look all right. Can you feel something different about your team?
Yeah, definitely. I think it more comes down to just we're all having fun together. Especially going from Redfern to Heffron, we'll sort of not promised, but they said that the facility should have been done maybe last year in November or pre-season, sort of times. But, just everyone's walking in with a smile. We're all having fun together and we're just turning up for each other. That's, the main things why I reckon we're doing so well, but it's a very long season.
Yeah, for sure. You guys' new facility, obviously a club that's been around for such a long time, to really have a home like that now. Like, what's the big difference that you notice? Like, you go there and just excited to be there?
You get sunlight when you walk in the training.
That's it, eh?
You may actually sort of walk in the training. When we first went in there, I was in the gym looking out, like smiling. I was like, wow, that's what it's like to be at training and like see light.
What is this?
Sometimes you go to training in the morning, it'll be sunny, you leave, it's raining, you get like 3 shades of different, weather, and you don't even know what's going on. You walk out, fuck, what do I wear? You don't know. But
ringworm everywhere in Redfern.
Bro,
really?
Infestation of ringworm.
Proper.
Everyone was, once a week, someone would pop up with ringworm, mainly him.
Who? Are you the worst? Are you ground zero?
Nah, Tommy B.
Tommy B.
He's got a
Tasmania
farm
on his neck.
Sorry, Tommy.
Sorry about that.
I will say to him, he's not an unhygienic person. It's just generally
not very diligent
he uses
on the cream.
He's
He's not diligent with the application.
Nah, he is.
Just
I
like one
reckon
day here, one day there.
just refuses to go away on it. I don't know why. I feel sorry for him.
Big salami neck.
How do you get ringworm? Like, how does that even
I
start?
don't know where it starts. It's just like, I don't know what it is. I'd never had it before I went to South, and I've never seen no one. I've never had one point at the club where someone's got it at all times.
Yeah.
It's fucked.
First time, I never knew about it. The first year at South, and someone said, "You got a ringy?" I said, "Fuck's a ringy?" And obviously, I'd learned about it. So I've done my research on it, and there's carriers and there's people who get it. So there's a lot of carriers that don't get it, and that's why people
They're the
get
insurgents.
it. Yeah.
Oh, almost like coronavirus. So
Yeah.
you could be the host but not have symptoms.
Don't get symptoms,
Yeah, crazy.
Sneaky little snakes. Just
I don't have it now, by the way. You got it?
Proud of you, man.
Don't be. You've got it.
I've had it before. But anyway, Heffron, it's clean sensor.
Sorry.
I made a big deal of it too.
All right,
Yeah.
give us your top 3. Who's got the most caps of ringworm in your team?
You're in the top 3. You're 3.
I'm very
followed by
clean though.
Tommy, yeah. Oh, you fold things like you're tidy. You're not clean.
No, I'm clean.
Tommy be number 2.
Tommy's just unlucky.
Peter Mamazoulis, number 1.
Oh,
Young fella.
patient 0.
Mate, his hygiene is very questionable. Boys in like Gold Coast, he sort of found out a lot about the boys.
Yeah.
Like apparently, man, he's like lives at home. Mum and dad did everything for him. He had a dirty pillowcase or some shit. Didn't know how to do anything about it. Put a shirt on it. No. Put a shirt over it, wasn't it?
He put a shirt over a pillow with his missus scent, with his missus perfume. That's no word for lie. Because he was homesick.
He had like 40 towels like in the corner. They're dirty. Didn't know what to do with them. Didn't know how to give them like the hotel
He had
staff.
His room
was
cream stuck
fucked.
to like the bedside table. Oh.
Yeah.
Living out of home first time was just like crumbled.
Yeah, old t-shirt over the pillow.
That's the best. So yeah, Jai 3, Tom 2, Pete 1.
Took us about your coach. He seems like a pretty cool guy. Seems pretty relatable. We'll talk about your personal experiences pretty soon. But what about from a professional standpoint? Had Wayne Bennett there before, obviously the GOAT, and then you get JD to come through. What's some clear differences between the two boys?
There's definitely a lot. Not a lot, sorry. There's a lot of similarities in ways, but Wayne was more a father figure. I suppose everyone would probably say that openly. He's more of a father figure, where JD was more hands-on, tactically. Don't get me wrong. He's also a good fella to talk to, and he'll always talk to you about what's going on outside of footy as well, and how you're doing mentally, physically, and stuff like that. But he's just so smart, and like Wayne as well, the similarities. He doesn't really expect you to do anything out of the ordinary. He just expects you to be on every day, be the best possible version of yourself on and off the field. So, as I said, mate, there's a lot of similarities, but they have a lot of differences as well. And even with Wayne coaching, he was more hands-on with us with the tactical sides of things and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
What
about you?
I think JD's really, really smart guy, like tactically, and the way he approaches the game was different. But he definitely took a lot out of Wayne, his relaxed approach and giving players more downtime, more of a voice, and that sort of incorporation between player and staff. It wasn't he's not a dictator. He really takes on what the senior players say and really wants the boys to have a voice and feel heard. And speaking of what Wayne and him probably they brushed off on each other a little bit. Yeah, he was always our tactics coach when Wayne was there. Wayne didn't even know our plays, but
Who runs your guys' attack? Because it's pretty to watch.
Benny Hornby.
Oh, is it? Is he?
Bro.
Yeah.
Weapon, yeah. He's smart as man.
I feel like even when he was playing, he was a very underrated attacking player.
Just nice and square right out the back to Darius Boyd, and Darius would just strip him.
Benny Hornby runs that.
Yeah. So what's the sort of strategy? Obviously, you don't want to give away too much details, but I see you guys sort of play sort of post to post, move the middle around. Obviously, with your Lockie Ilias there now, he's opened up that right side attack for you, but you guys are a left side dominant team. What's the strategies behind that? And
I don't know what
It's come from two middle forwards.
you're on the edge sometimes,
we'll
right?
hit the points, boys, and then we'll have them having the points.
I think it's everyone sort of knowing their role. We have shape coming from literally. We know our roles from every part of the field. From a scrum line, we've got a shape we have to run or we want to run. We know our roles there, and for us, where we need to lead inside or run a lead inside. We've got shape from, we call it a zone from, basically from the scrum line to the post just inside.
Yeah.
That sort of
just to throw off the 6-4 splits.
Man's land. Yeah. And we got shape from 50 as well. I think it comes down to us knowing our role and where we know we need to lead inside or where we're ball playing from. So we have shape, honestly, as I said, we've got shape from every part of the field where we can play footy. So that's probably the most exciting thing about us.
I think the most exciting thing you touched on, we're left side dominant. I think we've scored more tries than the right.
Have you?
I don't know. Stretcher scored 11 himself or something like that. Something crazy. AJ is 3 or 4. For some guy that's scoring a try a game for fun.
Stretcher's he's gone from he's always been good,
mate.
But this year he's sort of gone up to there.
I don't know. He's a freak.
What is it? Can't put your finger on it. Is he training a little bit different?
No, he's always been. He's one of those guys. At every training session, he's ripping in. He's carving up and he's giving everything. But I don't know, a bit older, a bit bigger, a bit more confidence. I don't know what it is because I think last year he was unlucky to not get an Origin spot.
Will he get in this year?
Sure,
he has to.
He has to.
Yeah,
he's been
big frame. Loves them carry. Those 10-meter carries that no one wants. He's sitting there just frothing like a dog. Give me the ball.
He's been knocking on that door for
years now.
Yeah, a few years now. I reckon he's at the stage now where he's about to knock the fucking thing down, and they can't say no to him. I feel as though they can't.
Yeah, I think you have to size him up for their blue jersey already.
Wing centre, whatever. Defensively, he played both. He's been a winger for 3 years. He's been a centre for 2 or 3.
I reckon he's the best defensive centre in the comp at the moment.
He's locked down, eh? He locks him down, eh?
Velcro. Is that best defender? I always G him up because he's a big frame. Mate, you better be careful how you tackle. You'll be in the second row soon. You just fuck off.
He was struggling yesterday. He was a bit cooked yesterday. I kept having to ask him if he was okay. He told me to fuck off.
Instead of seeing Lachlan Elias's game, coming to the comp nice and steady, you see him starting to take a bit more control. Got some pretty dominant guys in your team with Lachelle, Cody and Cookie. like the pressure isn't always there on him to run the team, but I feel like he's sort of taken that step up. What's some things you've seen, some characteristics you've seen within him that's helped him grow to take his game to this next little level?
Starting to have a voice, like really speak up and have his opinions on how he wants us to play and stuff like that in meetings. Like, I feel like his first full year last year, he wouldn't really speak up in meetings about, say, tack defensively, but he's starting to do that. I know, sort of noticed that over the past couple of weeks. He's actually speaking up and having his say, having his say and not having the older boys and Cody, Latrell's, Cookie as well. Cookie's always got something to say. He's always got something to say.
All those things.
Are they good things or not?
No, Cookie, no. Yeah, it's half.
Cookie, I've noticed.
If he doesn't have
Cookie
something
will-
to say, he'll be judging someone that is talking. You see his face and looking around, like trying to find eyes to like try and make it laugh.
okay.
It's
Or
the
he'll
most
just repeat.
judgmental thing ever.
He'll repeat what someone's just said. He's good at that.
That's the worst.
Yeah, he's
Or
good.
Tommy B's like,
Tommy's funny, but Tommy's good for
someone will
morale.
say something and he'll repeat that exact thing, almost exactly the same as what they said, and act like he's the one that said it, and look around for like, and everyone just like laughs hysterically. He's like, someone says something, anyone else got something to say? Everyone looks at Tom. Anything? No.
But Lockie's really coming into his own. He's taking the team as we always knew he would, but we knew it was going to take him some time. And thought to the back end of last year he was really taking a stance and taking pressure off Cody and Latrell and Cookie. So, and even Camo as well, who was a ball playing 13. He really took pressure off those blokes, and I think he's taken a lot of pressure off them to start this year. And it's crazy to think we're almost halfway through the season because we're in round 10 or 11 now, and Lockie's really starting to find his own and have his voice. I think that's the most important thing that he's taken on, is just he's really having a voice and a say.
Cam Murray, he can't be that perfect, can he? Is he
Call
that
him
guy?
unicorn, bro.
We've said it. We'd love to be in his head just for a day.
Yeah, I actually asked him one time because he's always just thinking, like he's a deep thinker, and he gets in the train and he's like those wide eyes and he's just not talking to people for a little bit. He's thinking. And I asked him, I go, mate, when you come to train, like, what are you thinking about?
Yeah.
He's like, he gets sort of like, gets a bit like, nothing, no, just like footy and not much.
We reckon
He's
it's
just
money.
Like, yeah, it's money.
We reckon
He's the
it's
most
money.
money-driven
I don't know
man.
why.
He's
It's
just
not
trying
even
to
a joke.
figure out how to
Yeah.
make more money. Like, mate, how much do you need? Like, fuck.
Pretty handy pickup with Jackie Wyden.
Yeah, that's pretty
Absolutely.
handy.
Some salary cap questions suddenly coming
Mate.
around selves.
I think we're pretty good at it, you know. You Roosters fan? Is that a projection? I don't know.
No, who do we
Projecting
got?
at us?
No, all off
Yeah,
the
I don't
cap,
know.
bro. We're all right.
Under the cap, but what about
Probably
the
not. You
third
guys,
party cash payments?
you guys don't have to answer if you don't want to, but where does he fit in? Because you
He's centre.
center.
Well,
I think
that's-
centre. Well,
The
he's
young
not
fella's
playing
going good
halves.
too.
Yeah,
you know
Not
what I
playing
mean?
halves or fullback.
It's honestly a really good question, and something we haven't. It hasn't even JD's even said it. It's not spoken about where he's going to play.
Probably
It's
put him anywhere. He's a bit of he's going
more
anywhere.
about us this year.
Yeah.
And there's more worry about that next year. But if you were to say like where he fit in,
He's centre.
yeah, it'd have to be. I think Lockie's obviously doing a great job.
Yeah.
Cody
Cody's Cody.
Cody'd
probably a
kick
bit
stones
safer
if
than
he
Cody.
got shafted from his sixth position.
Where would he go?
So yeah.
Is it easier to strip down like attack and stuff when you guys got 14 players on the field?
That was him too.
No.
That was him too. Oh, salty.
I can say that actually wasn't me. I got the blame only because I was in the picture.
Yeah.
I vividly, I know for a fact, I had card number 3 and Junior, I think it was Junior. No, Junior wasn't even playing.
Didn't the trainer
Oh,
try
it
and
was
spray you
Junior.
for it though? He didn't want to take accountability.
Whose fault is that? Is that trainer's fault, eh?
Trainer.
Well,
he
it
pointed.
didn't
Everyone's
change
pointing
person
fingers.
as
Everyone's
well.
doing these ones.
I don't want to point fingers, but you got to blame. I'm not blaming. Sorry,
If it
if that's
wasn't
the
your fault,
wrong.
like if not pointing fingers, but whose fault was that?
The interchange person, like isn't that their job?
Oh, the NRL guy.
yeah,
actually
to make
do.
sure that someone's come off. But really, that wasn't going to change the result. Really,
Yeah.
I think it was Junior. I know for a fact Junior had come off, and I had the number 3 card, and I went on, and I think our trainer had said,
The little
"Davey,
chihuahua.
go on, just go on." And then obviously Davey had gone on, but Tommy was taking the carry, and Tommy was running off while Davey was sort of running towards the play. I got the blame for it again.
No bearing on the game though. But thanks for the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much you boys get fined, or how much the club get
It was
fined?
10G. Yeah.
Oh, that's all right,
10,
eh?
yeah,
Score a
15.
couple of tries with 14 guys on the field.
Did anything happen when they had the 14? It was like garbage carries, mate.
Very naughty, obviously. Welcome back to first grade football. It's been a tough sort of 9 months for you. Talk about the sort of injury from the first day you got it and some of the tough times you went through getting back to last weekend.
Yeah, injury, man. I remember
lowest tackle. Holy shit!
Tackle,
How many times have you watched it?
It was low.
I couldn't watch it for a while. I used to just sit there and just fucking just burn inside. Like I couldn't watch it, and I had to deal with that.
Do you know the dude's name and stuff? Like,
no,
does that?
No idea. It was a winger, bro. That's the thing.
Is that the worst thing about it?
I was in the middle of the field, tackle two. Off like we had a tap, then I had to carry, and I was on post, almost black dot, and I looked at it, I was like, is that number 2? What the fuck's he doing there? And I was just laying in the rain, just like looking up, like what? My knee was gone.
What did you do to your knee? What was the actual injury?
ACL, MCL, grade 2 MCL. Almost tore that all completely, but ACL and then a little bit of meniscus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just remember laying in the rain, just going, fuck me. Like, and then obviously the weeks and months, maybe about a month after that, like that followed, I just went like, I'd worked so hard to get back there. I had like 3 surgeries in the off season, like Rico, clean out, and I like just started to feel like I got a bit of momentum back in the side, playing all right, bang, and I just lost a bit of myself, and the last 9 months been a bit of a journey, man.
What do you mean by you lost yourself? Like, what does that mean?
I had to attach my whole identity to football. Like that was what I wanted to do, and like I had blinkers on, the football bubble. I guess you've been there for a little bit as well. Nothing else really mattered to me. Like I didn't care about. I didn't think obviously football was going to end. I was like, I'll figure that out one day. And so my life was like 95% football, and everything outside of that, I just attached myself to the image of football, my identity. And that was gone. I was like, well, what do I do now? Who am I? Like all these like weird questions, like big questions I just hadn't asked, and I didn't really want the answer. I just sort of started partying and got a bit lost in that scene.
Yeah. Obviously, like I've known you for a while, and you've always been like the light, fun guy. Obviously, you're fucking 6'5" or 6, so you sort of stand out. I've always found in the past when there's guys that always seem happy up front, they're always masking things behind.
Yeah.
Going through that journey of an ACL injury, did it start to dig up like sort of childhood trauma and everything else in between where... Like, cause like I said, all my memories of 90 are just fun. Like we go out, party, have fun, talk shit, do what we do. But like I said, like there's times you've been opened up to me personally. Was that kind of like the explosion moment for you?
Yeah, and that was when a lot of things bubbled up when I didn't have that solid base of football, training, routine, all that kind of stuff. All that childhood trauma, all that stuff sort of bubbled to the surface, and especially when I just kept going further and partying, all that kind of stuff, trying to mask it, and then it just wouldn't work anymore. That was the biggest thing I had to address. Like I did a lot of therapy, still am, like just addressing a lot of stuff that came up, and that was probably the biggest work on.
There's a weird stigma around therapy, especially for men. I look at you two guys and like big, solid guys, and you play such a tough sport, and you're seen as almost like a gladiators or men in the arena, and we're expected to be tough and put together all the time. What was it like making yourself so vulnerable in public, and then sitting down and having those tough conversations with someone in therapy?
Yeah, that stigma left me a little bit when I was in rehab, to be honest. Like, I got stripped back pretty bad. I mean, after like the state I was in, to go in there, like, wasn't exactly a light decision. I feel like I should go to rehab. It's pretty fun. That sounds fun. Like, so I sort of lost a lot of that stigma, and like you said, I can't talk about feelings and all that other shit that sort of come along with it that probably contributed to me bottling a lot up and escaping that way. But it was pretty freeing, to be honest. Like it was. When it all came out, when the story hit, it was like just the vulnerability was really sat with me in a weird way. People messaged me like, "Oh, congrats!" I was like, "Oh, fuck, now people know." I was like, I want to throw my phone away. People sent me nice messages, but I was like, "Fuck, now it's out." Like it's real.
Yeah.
But
was that a good thing though that it was out? You felt way
yeah, I
lighter?
felt free. And saying that, I got people like messaging me saying like, "Mate, you've given me like hope and inspiration to like go through therapy, stop drinking, go do this, stop taking drugs." And that was overwhelming like feeling of like, wow, like if I can help any person like with just talking about what I've been through, like it's a pretty amazing feeling.
What was rehab like? I was about to laugh too. Do you know what? It's just a weird stigma around rehab.
I want him to tell you a story about how
About
how he tried to get himself kicked out. Bro, I could imagine him being too proud.
Oh, no, I was like,
It's
two weeks in, pretty deep in this, and like, uncovering some deep shit about me. And everyone was passing around vapes. I was like, vapes are banned. Like I got caught with one. I don't even vape, but I was just like stressed in there. And the head of the rehab, he's like, mate, give me the vape. And I was like, want to give it to him like that? And I went like, right in front of him. And he's just like blowing up. And I was like, kick me out. What are you going to do? And he's like, fuck, he knew that's what I wanted. But rehab was pretty crook, man. It was hard. It was hard work.
How long were you in there for?
4 weeks.
Shit. So you like go in and stay in and everything?
28
or?
days, yeah. First 8 days, no phone. They take your phone off you.
Yeah.
Corny one. Just
You
like sort
didn't
of,
have a phone, did you?
I took it in, yeah. But you know, like, you don't have it. Like, they take it. And you have to ask for it. Like, to.
So I was getting
emails
random FaceTimes
Oh,
off this
yeah.
like email going, what the fuck who is this? Who is trying to FaceTime me? And then
Yeah.
I got a message and it was obviously him.
Yeah. It was weird, man. It was a weird time. Like sitting around in circles, talking about your feelings in front of people you don't know, and you start going to AA meetings and like people start like this community of people that you don't even know existed. People go up the front of like this room and talk about their hardest things in their life. I'm sitting there going, what the fuck's going on? Like,
Yeah.
where am I? Like, how did I get here?
So when you look around the room, is it like how you perceived it to be, or was there like, oh, this guy just I wouldn't even think there's the word alcoholic. I don't want to like read.
Yeah. Or like the kind of people in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my biggest thing to stigma. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to call myself like a junkie or anything like that. I had a lot of issues with alcohol and drugs for a long time. But like, yeah, you walk in there, people you wouldn't even know, like normal looking people. There's some people in there that's like really like, you know, wealthy, successful. There's obviously a range like high, low, like life, but people talk about normal stuff and like big issues, small issues. Everyone's issues are their issues, you know what I mean? Just so I open like, I'm like, people talk about this shit like in front of other people they don't really know. I'm like, this is crazy to me.
Is that easier or harder? I feel like that'd be easier.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, but then you're telling strangers about your shit. Like, and so like, I remember my first meeting I went to. I got asked to share. Like, you got up the front of this room, and I'm like, lights are on me. Like, I'm not a good public speaker. I've gotten better since, but like, I'm just drooping in sweat.
Yeah.
40 people. I'm like,
Profusely sweat.
Well, how
I've
many?
just got out
40,
of about
40
40,
people?
50 people in this room. I'm at the front. Some of them are in a circle, and some of them are like at the front. I was like, oh, and I just said to myself, I'm never gonna say no. I'm gonna get out of my comfort zone. I need to talk about this shit. Went up the front, like looking around, like stunned mullet, like looking like I got out of a sauna, like didn't know what to say. It was like, you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You hear people say it, but I didn't know how to speak about my own issues. So.
Do you have to do the hi, my name's Liam, and
That was the thing that killed me the most. Yeah, like because at the first I was like, I'm in denial. I don't have that much. No, I'm Liam. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an addict. But yeah, mate, it was fucked, man. It was hard, but then you got better and better. You talk more and more, and you sort of uncover more of the issues.
You had a pretty tough conversation with your coach. What
Yeah.
made you want to tell him straight away? And we've talked about coaches as almost like father figures. And I associate a father figure with someone that can like discipline you and show you love. And I think that's why we always associate coaches as father figures.
Yeah.
What made you want to tell him straight away?
Well, leading up to that, I remember a couple of meetings at training, and JD was talking. Like, I think it was a couple of stuff going on with other players, like talking about the trajectory of a lot of NRL players. Like, they live a certain life, they create bad habits when they're playing. About alcohol, drugs, gambling, cheating on the miss, all that shit that comes along with the stigma of footy players. And then they finish their career, they don't have the money coming in, everyone leaves them, and then they're just a mess. They don't learn how to be good people. They don't learn good habits in their playing career, and obviously when they finish, they're like wild, in the wild pretty much, and they really struggle. And that really, really resonated with me a lot. And then, I don't know, I got to this point where I was at my lowest point before, I was like, I need help. Like I was reaching out, what do I do? How do I do it? Well, I need to tell JD if I need to go to rehab. Like, fuck, how am I going to do it? Then I got to admit that I've been doing the wrong thing. That was the hardest thing.
Yeah.
But that was the only step I could take to get the help I needed. So I called him up and I was a wreck. I was like, JD, can we have a chat? Like, I was in a really bad way. I was really anxious. And he's like, yeah, mate, everything all good? I'm like, no, not really. Can we have a chat? Can I come meet you? When I met him, I told him where I was at. And the first thing he said to me was like, man, I'm really proud of you for asking. Like, 100%, we support you 100%. And I just went, what?
Did that feel like the biggest relief?
Like, the biggest relief. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I was like, didn't understand it. Like, everything I built it up to be, this huge thing, like, and he just went bang. That's mate, that's awesome. I'm proud of you. We'll support you 100%. And I was just like a light bulb moment. Like, fuck, that's first step. That's number one step.
What was it like for you guys? Like, as obviously a good mate, you're seen as like a sort of a tough guy in the game, but to sort of come off the field, see your friend go through that, and just sort of have to soften yourself and accept it. What was it like to be his friend?
It was pretty hectic, to be honest. Like, so you just don't know sometimes. Like, obviously, I was seeing him go through a bit. As soon as he's done his knee, I still remember like very clear that rocking up to the game, and what our head performance had at the time had said, hey mate, I just want to prepare you, but Nighty's done his ACL, and I remember my heart sinking.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, I just need to tell you, obviously you've got to prepare for a game and that, but so I remember going in. He was
Well,
in
he's
a
the
lot
head
of
of
pain.
performance.
Yeah,
Might have half ruined the performance that game, wouldn't he?
well, I was obviously going to find out. So I remember walking in and seeing him, and he was in a bad way. He was obviously trying to be in his best spirits as possible. I remember the doc giving him the doc.
Mate.
Obviously, he was in so much pain, bro. The doc gave him anti-inflammatories
And Panadine Fort.
Panadine
I was like,
Fort.
Doc, I'm not playing. Give me Trammies. Give me something.
Yeah.
Just knock me out, bro.
And then like coming home and that, and I remember him getting surgery, and we had to swap rooms because he was upstairs and couldn't really get upstairs, so he stayed in my room. And there was a time, I don't know if you want about the ambulance.
Oh, mate.
I had no idea. Slept through this whole thing, but he was in so much like excruciating pain. I slept through this whole thing. Ambulance, all the ambos had come to the house, took him to hospital, obviously check on him, and they couldn't really do anything for you, could they?
Yeah, that was...
Where was the pain coming from? Just your knee?
Bro, I wasn't sleeping. That was when I was on prescriptions. That's when I was probably my big struggle that started. Like prescriptions, I was out of the drugs. I wasn't sleeping. I had like 3 or 4 days.
What prescriptions were you taking?
Like I was on endones. I probably pumped a few Valiums in there.
Yeah.
Other drugs and stuff. And then I hadn't slept for 3 or 4 days. And I was having psychosis. And I was like, fuck, I was just like hearing voices and shit.
Yeah.
Mate,
And
it's
then
crook as.
I woke up in the morning, and he told me like, oh, I went to hospital. I was like, what? Wait.
Sleep through hurricanes, guys.
Like last night.
Just got his 8 hours kip,
People
eh?
start breaking into the house, drive me fucking 12 hours sleep. Wake up, nothing's here.
And I do sort of remember him kind of saying to me like, yeah, I'm not in a good way, and that sort of like rattled me a bit. And I was like, well, I don't really know what to do, because as a man, like, especially me, emotionally, I'm not very in check. I don't do good with emotions, so I don't really.
You'd be surprised, but a lot of guys don't.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Especially now in that
So I
industry.
didn't know like how to like be there for him or say ask if you're all right. I tried to, but I didn't know like if he'd want that. And then I remember him calling me saying he was going to rehab, and that was pretty tough as well, because we were roomies at the time, and I was like, shit, this is like a serious problem. He's actually really struggling and stuff like that. Remember him getting out. I went to his graduation. That was it was pretty cool. And there's one thing he probably won't say that he should be proud of. He's the only one out of his group, out of the rehab group, that hasn't relapsed yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's obviously the only one that hasn't relapsed, which something to be proud of, because how many people are in there? It'd be 10 plus.
Like 20, 30 people.
Yeah, 20, 30 people, and he's the only one.
Plug, get out early. We went through about 4 chicks in 2 days. Everyone just like quit.
Yeah.
It was hectic, bro.
Once he got out and he started to work on himself and started to find out what he would like to do, and I was feeding off his energy. Like, he was asking me if I was okay, and we'd sit down and have a chat, do all that stuff, and not all the time, but very, I suppose.
Just enough, eh?
Just
little
enough.
check-ins, yeah.
He was always checking up on me, and I didn't even. I suppose, well, I've got problems, but I wasn't the one that just sort of. Yeah, I was the one that, didn't just get out of rehab, but so it was more. We were actually having conversations about life and in general life, and it's actually pretty cool to think back that, he wouldn't know this, and I'm not bullshitting when I say this just because it's on camera, but he sort of changed the way, I think about life and go about it, and checking up on my mates. And as I said, mate, I was trying to feed off his energy as well. And then obviously him getting out of rehab, that sort of made me think, well, I obviously love to have a beer and enjoy that part, but I'd always said that I don't want to be the one to make him relapse. Like, that just wasn't non-negotiable for me, and didn't want him to be around it. Obviously I'd go out, but I said to him, I did say to him, if you're ever going to like have beer and that, I'm not to be around. I do not want to be around you, because I know for a fact I'll sort of be the one to blame myself, and people will blame me for that.
Yep.
So I tried to steer him away from that. I would come home, hungover and that. That was
the best thing for me, bro.
Yeah, that makes you feel better, eh?
5:30, 6 a.m. going for walks. I come home, he's dead on the couch until about midday. Just Uber Eats, sleep. I go, fuck that. What am I missing out on here?
There was a time. There was one time I
crook.
come home and I must have been really loud in the lounge room, and he couldn't sleep. He's not a good sleeper at the best of times, and he come into my room angry as
Next door, banging on doors. Yeah, you want to sleep, nah? You want to sleep, nah?
And they were taking a photo of me, and I looked like death. But then thinking like, fuck, I didn't want to be the one to, have alcohol or shit like that around him. So
Yeah.
it was hard to see, but then again, like it's pretty cool to see him now, how far he's come, and it's pretty. As a mate, you're proud.
Fuck you, Nutty. Mad. What's a couple of things that you've taken out from rehab that you do every day now that keeps you in check? Because I always see you take photo of your socks and stuff. Like, is that just a little reminder?
I just like spreading positivity. I really choose what I consume on social media. I think you talk about it a lot. Like what you consume, what you look at, is what you sort of feel. I like cut out the shit. I try and stay off all the reels and all that kind of stuff. Look at positive content. Read books. Walk. Like just sort of keep busy in good ways. I was going to a lot of meetings at the start. Now I'm probably a bit too. I'm very busy these days, but. Also, like, started giving back was like a big thing they talk about.
Yeah.
So like I started feeding the homeless every Wednesday I can get there every second week, which was a really like big eye opener. Like you think you got problems, you think you got going on, and people that like struggle to find houses and food and that kind of stuff. It's just a bit of a perspective change, and you talk to people with like that kind of scene. It's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And then another guy like randomly, like I sort of share my story, and then someone sort of come to me like, my husband's really struggling with alcohol. Are you able to like have a chat to him and see if you can help him? I was like, what the imagine like 6 months ago someone asked me if I can help him get off the piss. I was like, you're talking to the right guy. And this guy was like struggling and had a tough time, and now he's like 2.5 months sober. So that sort of for me like gives me back what I want to need. Like help this guy get sober. Now we're good mates, and
It's the best feeling, eh?
mate, it's amazing. Yeah, we started a business, me and this guy.
Are you?
Yeah,
sick.
Yeah, that's sick.
One of like my very first podcast I did was with Travis Young, and he talked about the time he tried to commit suicide, and he was writing his son a suicide note, and he ended up in rehab. And I still get messages today from like partners or guys that have gone to rehab from that single podcast. So keep spreading the message. You'd be surprised how common it is.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't like when I started getting those messages after I did that story. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Conversations.
I remember watching an interview with you when you were about to leave the Titans, and I can see you're an emotional guy the way you play the game, and obviously you'd be filthy you left the Titans. But what's the expectations coming from a team like the Titans, where respectfully to the boys, you're not expected to do too much, coming down to Sydney, South Sydney. You got a good team. You got Wayne Bennett. You're expected to win. What was the clear differences coming from Goldie to here?
Oh, I'm trying to think back. There was a lot.
You never wanted to leave, eh?
No, I was so in my comfort zone.
What did you do with the spoons?
In all honesty, no, I only won one. I only won one. Mate. Like looking back, my last year there, we won like
ninth,
6
eh?
on the trot. Yeah, we finished 9th. Just bees dick away. But there was a lot of factors. I was in my comfort zone up home. I didn't want to leave, and then the opportunity arose to come down to South with Sammy retiring. I remember getting a phone call from both JD and Wayne saying that they wanted to get me down, and this was midway through negotiations with the Goldie and Tigers. And South sort of popped out of nowhere, and I saw obviously the squad, the coaches, the club, what it's about. It's rich history. I didn't really know too much then, but obviously now being at the club, learning about it's a pretty rich history and so much. The club's been around forever. Factors were, there was a lot of, I suppose, one where I thought I'd win more games and potentially go all the way. And then also South just refused to give up, hey. Like they refused to give up.
That would feel nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And as a human being, you want to feel wanted as a person, and I felt wanted at this club, and I couldn't say no to them. They flew up, come and see me, had a meeting, my best mate's mum and dad house, sold me. First of all, he I don't know if he was just trying to sell me this. It was Shane Richardson. He goes, mate, just got off the phone to Rusty. He's telling me he wants to get you down and stuff. So, that was obviously
the oldest chick in the club.
Yeah, playing the Rusty card. That was pretty cool. But then,
Did you go to his farm?
nah.
When they
never
really
went
want
to his
someone,
farm.
they can take Rusty.
Yeah,
They
that
can take to
was
Rusty's
Latrell.
farm.
I've heard about the farm.
Yeah,
That was
Latrell goes
Latrell.
there. Only 1 percenters. Chelsea.
Doesn't Sammy stay there?
Oh yeah,
They're best mates.
best mates. Yeah.
And then I was in my comfort zone. I thought, you know what? This club wants me so bad. I can't say no to them. And then looking at that time then, I only knew Wayne, JD, Gags, and Sewer at the time.
Yeah.
Well, they're the only 4 people that I knew well at the club. Didn't know this Derek. Didn't know
like
anyone.
him.
And obviously
Didn't
played against them. But I come down. It was the best decision I ever made. I was getting out of my comfort zone, coming to somewhere new. I didn't just expect to come down and say start. I sort of put 2 and 2 together how good Cam Murray is, and the pack that they had. I sort of knew that I was going to come off the bench, and I was more than happy to do that. Like I was excited for that challenge, and I feel as though
does
I can
starting
play
a
my
bench really matter anymore?
changed
Yeah, that's what I
It's
mean.
changed so much.
I feel
He
as
comes
though
on the
I
bench,
can-
play 60 now. Like,
Yeah.
you play 40, 50 minutes. Doesn't matter how you play. You're
Yeah.
playing it anyway.
I feel as though I play my best footy off the bench. You get those big boys. Junior and Hame, perfect example. Take the sting out of the game for me. I can come on and just have fun in a way and bring energy, be aggressive.
See the way
and
Tommy
play
B
my
goes
game.
for us now. Like he comes off the back fence.
Bro, he's on fire,
on the
bro.
bench. He's
He's
like
on
one of the best
fire.
middles, but the bench, back in the day,
He's
like, if you're a
been so
bencher, you
good.
consider maybe like a bit less than, but like it's just a different role these days.
He's been so good
He's
off
like
the
one of
bench.
our peak.
Yeah.
But fact is, it was the club didn't give up, and I
More
wanted
cash,
to win.
eh? You told me more cash.
But yeah, that's
It
good.
wasn't much more. I was
Yeah.
I was doing up.
Yeah.
It wasn't much
Fishing.
more. It's not what say
What's
the media
reported.
made it out to be.
Yeah.
But
Never is.
Yeah, it never
Nah.
is.
Yeah,
It
some
was
GST. I
honestly
don't know what they get
nowhere
GST
near.
from.
It was
what
nowhere
sells
near
papers
what they
from,
made it out to be. But it was just. I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. I needed to. I was so content up there. I needed to get away. I was on the piss every week up there going to the Burley Pav.
You need a new
To be
watering
honest,
hole. You were
in
banned
all
from all the
honesty.
pubs up there, weren't you?
Good spot.
Well, I'm banned from them now. They don't like me there, but
Are you banned from there?
not banned, but
Gets kicked out more
I
than
get
anyone
kicked
else.
out
Burley
sober.
Pav.
That's no word of a lie. I get kicked out sober at the Burley Pav. I don't know how.
They a good
Because
judge of
you
character.
don't remember what you do drunk.
Well, I do. I do. But
No reason to get kicked out.
I reckon it's just
Nah,
because
not
I'm
his
too
fault.
loud. I'm too loud and fun.
Too fun. You're too fun.
Yeah, too
It's
fun.
their fault, but they're
You
missing
can't
out. They're
have
missing
fun
out.
these
They're
days.
missing out on you.
Even at training, you can't have fun these days. They're
There's a
getting
few.
abused.
There's a couple you can't really go near. You got a good crew though.
I'm rolling into the spicy part of the year for you, Origin. Let's talk about, well, if you get picked.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get picked, of my opinion.
Strong
but
chance,
yeah, trying to be all vibe, yeah. Like you guys, I think it's the first time in a long time where teams almost match up. Like there's times where I've looked at New South Wales and I'm like, fuck, these poor blokes are going to get pumped, and you guys have come back and won some series, especially over the past 3 years. What was it like winning a couple of those special series?
Yeah, it was surreal because had not winning a comp, stuff like that, to actually have that winning feeling of something. I remember my first one in 2020. I was honestly, no one could take that feeling away. How happy I was.
Yeah.
I obviously definitely celebrated like we won as well. I had the best time ever.
I was there.
I know. I do remember that. The first
Apparently
night,
you were in some pretty good form.
mate. The first night, I don't remember.
Top 3
I don't
world's
remember.
lowest drunks.
Yeah, I was bad. I remember. I don't know if I should be saying this. I remember after we won, we all got on the piers and we got on the bus and went to Byron. And then I had no recollection being at a pub, and apparently I was yelling, screaming, singing, all the above.
Were you nude? Not at the pub?
At the house? Yes.
Naked drunk every time.
Yes.
Certain, it's like the 12th beer, I better get naked. It's like a habitual thing.
I remember passing out. I actually passed out in the shower. And remember waking up going, oh my God, what have I done? And I walked down to the boys, and the first thing I said, I'm sorry. I was excited. I'm sorry for being a punish. I know I can be, but just that feeling of winning, I was so excited and just didn't want to miss out on anything. So I was everywhere, bouncing off everyone. But winning, it was pretty special, a pretty special feeling. Last year was crazy. And game 3 especially, I remember that. That was... It went so quick.
That was the best game I've ever watched.
It was...
Entertainment-wise, it was so interesting.
It was
Everyone
so
just getting
crazy.
knocked out.
Everyone was knocked out.
I'm trying to remember game 3.
I remember the atmosphere when Benny Hunt took that intercept as well. That was just... it was crazy, man. And especially at Suncorp, I think that's the best thing as a Queenslander, running out at Suncorp. If you've got 52,000 people just going absolutely mental. And obviously you have New South Wales running out before you. And you can honestly feel the vibration underneath the stadium of just booze.
Yeah.
And then...
so when New South Wales run out,
Yeah.
it's just like...
But then when you run out, you feel the grass vibrating and it's just... Man, gives me goosebumps thinking about it. It's a surreal feeling and something I'll always remember.
I always laugh when like Queenslanders say like Origin means more to us, which in my opinion it does.
Yeah.
But then all the New South Wales people get like
hate
so
it.
cut about
Just
it.
don't
eh?
get it.
Especially the players.
Yeah, they just don't get Origin,
Just
bro.
don't get it.
Oh, yeah, those stupid commentators. Oh, those it feel good. Like I feel like
I don't
always
mind
says
vice
that-
commentators in Origin. I think that's the way it should be. Unless
Oh.
you're Ray Warren.
100%. I like it. Like, but you know, those feel good. Oh, Queenslanders want it more. Those kind of stuff. And it seems like over the years, obviously, you guys have had a lot more success recently. Those little moments, those big things that happen. The Queenslanders are there. But
I think Nico Hines summed it up perfectly. Like around Origin time, there's just so much passion that, you know, do have a hatred
Yeah.
for the other state.
Yeah, for sure.
I won't talk to you for 6 weeks. When the series
Yeah.
run.
You played with some pretty good sixes in Clubland and Origin. What's some clear differences between someone like Cody Walker and Cam Munster?
Very similar in ways. We'll say that at the start. Very instinctive, off-the-cuff players. But then I'd say Munster is more cool, calm and collected. Nothing phases him. And Cody, as you've seen on field, can get very heated. They're two differences for sure.
Yep.
But very, obviously both great players, instinctive players. Cody's a lot more structured than you think, than a lot of people think.
Adam Reynolds told me that.
He's just very smart with his decisions. Always just seems to pick the right option at the right time, but very structured in some ways of where he wants us to get to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Munster, as I said, mate, he's just
big time, isn't
you
he?
don't know what he's going to do, honestly. But then again, you don't know what Cody's going to do either. He's so instinctive. I physically don't know how he does it, because I'm thinking under pressure, like you got defenders shooting out.
Origin, man, he just carved that. When the last year, the year before, he just was untouchable.
The
Like,
2020 was untouchable, but that game 1 last year, and he was just stripping the ball when the game was
yeah,
on the
Origin
line.
games make him look like kids. Look like kids around you. And
Big
like,
game player, right?
Big game player, man.
Just makes it look so easy. It's fun to watch from the
Yeah,
outside. It must be a
100%.
pleasure to play with.
Yeah, absolutely. Very grateful that I've been able to play with the likes of those two for sure.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to write off some names. You guys just give me some, whatever first comes to your head. Campbell Graham, just run us through him.
He's a great bloke,
Tough.
man. Tough, man. Yeah.
Like as a player, person. Ooh,
Soft.
Soft.
So many, yeah.
soft.
Gentle soul.
Yeah, is he?
Yeah.
I've seen him knocking about the East a little bit lately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
busy man. He's a busy man these
Yeah,
days,
he's
bro.
busy.
He's really
He's one
coming
of the
into it.
best.
He's coming out of his shell in all aspects of life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. So single at the moment, is he?
Yeah, very
Yeah.
single.
Yeah, you can't like. Obviously, we know all you boys are out. You're all big boys, but he's tall.
He's tall, man. That's why he's stretch. We call him
Stretch.
stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, long thing.
He's a big long thing.
Little
yeah.
Lachlan Elliott hanging off next to him too, so there's like a
Yeah,
clear
he's
height
like
difference
wide
there.
frame, Stretch is a little tall. Yeah, right. He's a good. He's getting better looking every year. This Stretch. He's like,
It's the hair.
Your old halfback and captain, Adam Reynolds. And obviously, you guys got a pretty good relationship with him. Right, it was the best watching this game against you guys because obviously he knew everything about you. Out the
picking
back,
off,
just
picking
throwing
off Cam's passes and that.
Yeah,
Little rat.
intercepting and
You
pumped.
snake.
Bro, he pumped him too.
Yeah, he fed him, mate. He
Cam
fed
Murray.
Oh, he fed Cam at the back or something?
Oh,
He just
yeah.
knew what was
Oh,
going
he told
on.
me about it,
He
actually.
knew what was going on.
No, because he went down the right edge and tried 2 pass back to the middle to run some shape, and
And
he's
he
seen it
flew
coming
out
from
and
a mile
folded him.
away.
He was
Just
very
jammed
quick to
him.
tell me actually about that, Reno. This is the best hit I've ever put on. I was like, when? I didn't want to give him anything. I said, when? He goes, Oh, and Camo was like, oh yeah, it's a good shot, man. Good. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
What, the legs tackle? Yeah.
I miss Reno, man. He's the best little vibe every day coming to train and just like screaming at people, spraying people. It was the biggest punish, but like he had the best energy. Like he was the best, man.
Speaking about like mental health and that, he's someone who just consistently is up all the time. He's got to have demons. He's got to.
Every now and again, once a month he'd come in to train kicking stones, bottom lip, and that'd be like his down week, down day for the month. And other than that, man,
he's annoying.
All positivity.
Yeah, he's come in this office quite a bit and just sort of hang out and chill. We used to have
Feel
some
sorry for him.
He's a
man.
good guy, man.
we used to have some mad chats, bro. I used to love talking to him, and he's like
Interesting
diverse
thinker,
a lot of
man.
things.
Yeah, he really
eh?
is. Like he's got a good mind, man.
Yeah, it must be good and bad to see him doing well at the Broncos. He's taking them to the next
Bittersweet.
level.
Yeah, obviously really happy for his
100%.
success because he deserves
That'd
it.
be a good GF, man, if you boys
Yeah.
rock up there and they rock up there.
Yeah, big fan base too.
What do you say to him on the
Huge fan
field
base.
and stuff? Just into him all the time?
No, you do. Like we obviously have banter with him and stuff, but then like when we're off the field and mates and went and saw his mansion up there.
Oh,
in
he's got a
Brisbane.
house, doesn't he?
Oh,
Off
Yeah,
there,
it's
doesn't he?
hectic.
Yeah.
Show us around. You have general chat. See how he's going. He's obviously telling us how good it is up there and how much he loves it
Can
up
add
there.
some GST to a story, actually.
Oh, has he got a bit of
Yeah,
GST in
if
him?
you got 12 cards, he got 13. Like, well, he's captain of GST. If he made 10 grand, he made 24. Whatever it is, yeah, that's probably his gambling stories. Yeah, 120, lost 30 the day before. Don't worry about that.
If you're going to double bay, he's going to triple bay.
Yeah, one of those, bro. He's the best for it. Yeah,
Don't steal that one too at training.
that's hectic.
Last name on the list, Nathan Peets.
Oh, angry. Bipolar?
Yeah, well, I've never seen someone stress so much as like a grown man, eh?
I've
No.
never
He's
been,
a good man, PT. I really miss him.
What-
Miss him and his family.
Yeah, we were
Jade,
doing this
the
fridge to
boys
fridge
go.
one time in Goldie over Christmas, and
Happened to Fridge to
he
Fridge
come off his
quite
bike.
I saw that actually.
Come off his bike, bro, for the next hour. He's like, I literally could have died.
Oh,
and I go, bro, you're nowhere near. And he goes, well, you look after my family, are you? And just walks off for an hour, bro, sulking because he come off a bike.
He's a stress head. He's a stress head. A good man. I love him to death. I've seen him midway through training, playing a game, kick a ball over a fence and walked off the field and went up to the lockers, and we had to finish training without him.
Remember when Cody did that?
Yeah, Cody's
Yeah,
done
I've heard
that.
Kayla's got one of those.
Tommy
isn't
beat,
he?
I must be, I don't know what happened on the field. He was a bit rattled. Tommy did something to piss him off. Probably just breathed. And he like, we were in the gym and Tom was wearing the wrong shorts. Like, and it never used to matter. But like, I wasn't even training shorts. It was like gym shorts and like whatever brand. And in Cody's blowing up. Put some fucking shorts on. He's like, worry about your own backyard. Something like that. Just a little comment. And
Worry
Cody's
about
like,
your own
Just
backyard."
worry about you, lad. Or something like that. He's like, stormed out, took his stuff, went home.
He got fined 500
He
for
got
it.
fined missing session.
Fair enough.
Mate,
Missing
it
the
was
training.
just like, it was so funny, man. Him and Tommy, Tommy just gets on his nerves. a
They
bit.
really have a love-hate
Yeah.
relationship.
Lots of love, but then they just, I don't know what it is. Tommy just gets on his nerves, man.
Sometimes you just got that
No
person.
patience. You got no
eh?
patience with Tom.
None whatsoever. It really grinds Cody's gears. It's actually, I love it.
I love it
'Cause
so
Cody
much.
annoys the shit out of me, eh?
Oh, you're
Pinches. I got bruises on the back of my arms from him pinching me like constantly all day.
That's annoying.
Pinches your hammies and
Wet
that.
ya.
Like those little,
Wet you with water
cold water all
bottle.
the time. Man, look at Ilias. He's got like a full-on puddle of like bruises and taffy. Like,
Bit of ringworm for on top of it.
yeah,
too.
ringworm and bruises, like beautiful mix. Yeah. Man, no ringworm Heffron though. Clean.
Oh, I got a PT story for you. When he was at Para, they just signed Isaac de Gois.
Oh no, that would have went down well.
Yeah, so all the boys are on the piss and like normally starts layering up. He goes, thanks, BA. And he's like, thanks, BA. What do you mean? Signing a decent hooker for once. and teamed him in front of all the boys, and then Pete's trying to flog
Bottom
him.
lip?
Yeah, sulking. Gets home on the phone. Fuck you, wait till I see it training. Another one. Fuck, sorry, Pete. You just fucking putting your life
Love you,
story
man.
out here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love you,
rinsing
man.
your hair. It was this Bucks party, and obviously his missus went on the hens and stuff, and like got a stripper and stuff on.
Yeah.
But her nan was like FaceTiming it live, and he's just sitting there.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
He's just stressing, bro. He's just sitting there going, what the fuck?
He took that pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
He took it better than I thought he was going to.
Oh, that's some bad jokes. Eh? When the boys like the missus goes away, everyone's like, "Oh, she's probably getting hammered." Like, probably
Such a
going-
footy thing.
Our
eh?
physio, bro. Our physio's a bit like that. He's not a good guy.
It's all banter.
Anyway, he went away one time. And like, mate, your missus. Like,
Last guy on the list, Toby Rudolph, and it sort of rolls in nicely to our next little.
Extravagant.
yeah, he's a
Nice dude, bro. I met him with
interesting-
Morello
he's
one
interesting
time.
creature,
Morello.
Yeah, I know Morello.
Everyone knows Morello.
Very interesting creature, Toby. I
Yeah.
love him, man.
What do you got on? What do you got on him?
What I got the dirt. Oh, he's all vibe.
Can you tell the?
He's a child. He's like a growing child, man child.
Can you tell the doorstep?
Oh yeah, he doesn't. Yeah.
Well, if you're umming and ahhing, don't.
No, it's a sweet story. It's on my
he
body.
said- you
It's
said
not,
it
it's
on
not
your
live.
potty,
It's not
yeah.
live. But I remember one time he's told me a story when he was still at Souths, and Sato and that always tell the story like anything that they
Just
want him to
sums
do,
him up,
always
eh?
say to him like, "You won't do it." He always has to prove himself. Like, "You won't do it." What am I doing? What? Run through a brick wall? Yeah, all right, sweet. So he always is getting to do pranks and that, and so like. He's at one stage Sam stopped talking to him. They had a little tiff, whatever it was, and he come back from Queensland, and then Maroubra, and he's like, Sato's like, "Oh, you talk to Sam? Oh, no, he doesn't talk to me anymore. Fuck him, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh man, I want to shit on his doorstep." And Sato just goes, "You won't." And he goes, "All right." And he went home, like, got a pussy bag, shat in the pussy bag, like, drove to Sam's house, put it in an envelope, left it on his front door, like, everything like that. And then the best part, he started running off. His brother took him, started running off, shut the fence. His brother starts beeping the horn.
Oh no!
And just drove off and left him there. But, man, Sam's missus at the time found it, a big blow-up. It was so quick. So,
That sums
he's
him
a
up.
full-on man-child, but he's the best bloke. But best friend, my best mate.
So you guys got a podcast and stuff now?
Yeah,
or-
me and Toes doing it.
What was the idea for that? Just
We talked about it ages ago, man. Like years and years. Like, you know, those things you talk about with mates. You want to do this? We'll do this one day. Yeah, sweet.
Have you listened?
no, not yet. I see the micro content.
Not yet, or were you ever planning on?
I'll listen to it. I'll
Yeah,
listen
let me
to
know.
it.
It's
I'll wait till
fun,
Tommy
isn't it?
gets on.
Yeah. There's a good one with Sam we did actually. Sam was a good.
Oh
one.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, one of those things. And then I got out of like I started on this like personal development journey. I was like, I don't know. Our main theme, like we talk a lot of shit. Our main theme is like we just want to encourage people. Like, doesn't matter where you come from. Like, just have a crack. Just work hard enough, you can achieve shit. You know, like we're like examples, like where I started, where Toby started. Like, you know, we're living our dreams. We've done it. We want to sort of encourage people to do it. And then we just have like a lot of shit talk in between.
Yeah.
Oh, couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Have you been
imagine.
on yet?
Nah, they don't want me.
No,
why
we want
not?
him. We want him.
Get the
He's
views up, eh, bro?
Yeah, we want him. We're about Origin time when he's
You pay?
relevant. When he's relevant, we'll get him on Origin time.
Yeah. Is there a budget there from the
Yeah,
team?
no, no budget. It's too expensive. He's too arrogant. He just demands too much.
Oh, never. I'll do anything. for
What's
them.
with the turtlenecks?
Yeah, that's
You have
interesting.
to-
Talk us
you
through
have
it.
to wait and see. You have to wait and see. You have to come on, mate. We'll
Oh,
talk
yeah?
about it then. It's a bit of an.
It's meant to be funny, I
Yeah.
think.
No,
Nah, it's funny, man. I'm
secret.
sorry.
Just because
funny.
you're not inviting it, don't try and
Yeah,
don't try
right,
and trash
salty.
it, bro.
Is it hiding the ringworm?
Maybe. That's what we have to get Tommy
That's
on.
back
if
of the
Tommy
neck,
B
bro,
comes
watch
on,
it.
if Tommy B comes on, because he's got a big Tasmaniac, isn't he? I have to get him like a mask.
He's growing a farm.
His ringworm's growing ringworm. He's got a farm.
Get a little ringworm on the Rabbitohs logo, eh?
Sponsored by Ringworm.
Sponsored by the ring.
So I see you boys moving off the field like a little bit differently, and like I love that because I've obviously transitioned from average footballer to business.
Yeah.
How do you guys? Are you guys starting to think about transitioning outside of football? And I know you hang around Morello, who's a successful business guy. Obviously, you've dated successful entrepreneurs. Is it hang around these different types of people that make you start thinking a little bit differently?
But you know what? You started making me think about it, to be honest. I had a lot of admiration for you from a distance, like watching what you did when you finished.
You were
up.
there early too.
Yeah,
Hey, get a YKTR shirt.
Yeah, I remember early days, and I was like, obviously when that days, I was like, fuck, who wants to do anything besides footy?
Get off his
And
nuts.
you was like, yeah, honestly though, like I remember watching.
Gas
you
me up,
fucking
bro.
Started growing grass, like fuck, he's just mad. You put up some mad content, I loved it. Then you'd obviously just fucking went gangbusters, man. It was like it was
Yeah.
sick to watch. Made me start thinking a little bit. Didn't really know how to go about it, but it's definitely like hanging around with people like Morello and you know, my ex was really good at that kind of thinking. She was smart, and just hanging around with smart people that think differently. And I love the way people think. Like obviously,
Yeah.
it's an interesting way to learn.
We're starting to get on the old side of footy players as well. Like we're 28 this year. Obviously hanging around 90, who's the busiest man in Australia, thinking about businesses and all different ideas.
That's mad. I like
It's
that.
actually, it's opened my eyes because, like we do have to think about life after footy, and there is things that I've sort of put in place only really because he's starting to do all that stuff and made me really think. I've actually, spoken to people about trying to use that cane toad image as well, maybe with an alcoholic drink, about an opportunity, about collaborating with someone. Spoke to someone the other day. This is going to sound really funny.
4X?
Well, that'd be ideal.
That'd be the dream,
That'd
wouldn't
be
it?
ideal, yeah. Spoke to my mate about, he's probably going to laugh at me, about selling photocopiers, like to big businesses and stuff like that, and getting commission.
Like Connor Kamoa.
Jono?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as a little bit of a side hustle, doing some networking for him and stuff like that. Obviously, I don't know if I'd have to speak to the club about that. But
you'd be fine.
well, it's something that could be
like,
pretty good.
Yeah.
Making good coin off it as well. So
Is that just you printing money? Do you just need your own photocopier?
yeah, brought the system. Thought about radio. There's a few things there that I actually need to start getting onto about doing some radio stuff. I'm good at I suppose telling John Dories.
You remind me of Cheese a bit, bro. You remind me of Cheese, like tell a good yarn.
Yeah, can really you ask him one simple question, he would talk about it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, so doing that and plumbing as well. Plumbing apprentice. So I'd spoken to our careers lady about trying to get that done and potentially, I don't know, making enough money to
ambassadorship role with that courses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
RPL, we can trade in. Don't worry.
I'll have to pay him. You watch.
No, you don't pay me. They pay me.
And trying to finish that to potentially open my own business, and hopefully it's going well enough to have someone just run it for me. And Joz has got his hands back, feet up, and pointing the finger.
And you can just network and like use your image and brand to sort of get in the door. And
yeah, I think
that's the way you've got to do it.
That's why I realised like. I never thought much of like myself as a player. Like I'm a player, that's why I would play footy. But like people love football players. They want to talk to you. Why you can use it in like not an expedient way. People get the same out of it interaction that you do. They don't want to talk to you. You get to talk to them, and you get it in because you play footy. It's really important to understand.
I think you've done that
and use
really well.
Use the thing like I found for me. Like.
And I used to find like when football players used to do it was so short term. I was like, oh, let's get a fucking kombucha fucking pack.
Yeah, and I was
let's get a free coffee.
You start thinking a bit bigger. Like you watch people like it's like watching people do it. Like
yeah,
and I never thought about you. Like people like you and other people you've met, like they obviously have this massive business mind. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
just feels like another language at some stage. Then you can't learn.
And then you start learning the language. It's not hard, bro.
Podcasts and you just start learning quick.
Takes you away from footy as well. Get your mind off it, which I think, well, for me, and then 90's only two games back, but I thought he was really good for us on the weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
And I reckon it kind of reflects that he's doing so much outside of footy. He's not really thinking about it. Obviously, you go to normal life stuff, but then it reflects on the field as well. I just feel like if you get your mind off footy, you go and do actual life things, and when you come back to footy, you're just solely focused on that and have your tunnel vision. But it's always good to get away, I feel and do different things and learn different things as well.
That was the biggest thing I hit. When I hit injured, I was like, what else do I do? Like my image was at footy. That's what else do I do? Who else am I? I had nothing else going on. That was like the biggest motivator for me after I had to sort my shit out and go through all the stuff I went through. I was like, fuck, now I'm going to figure out everything I want to do. All the seminars, like all this stuff, like really dove in deep because I'm like, got so much time. Everyone thinks, we got to recover. Fucking lazy watching Netflix, like sitting at home playing games. Like I do all that shit. Yeah. But now it's like, Mr. Movie Man over here, movie marathoner. but you have a lot of time. And I know downtime's important, but like we got so much time and resources. It's
you don't
it's so much fun, like talking to people, like interesting conversations. I love it, man.
Are you on that dog app yet?
Yeah, I got to meet with them after this.
Do ya?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, listen to this, mate. I'm telling you, it's a busy man. Listen to this.
I just signed up an ambassador to this. It's called the dog app. But there's a couple of layers to it. The dog app's like...
People like you and I with dogs.
You got a dog, you might
we'll
like
get
it.
on it.
It's like a good business model. It's like $2 a month. So like, you won't even notice it. But like it's AI algorithm. Like you sort of film the dog and you talk to it, ask it a question. Like, do you want to go for a walk? And then it'll sort of give you a response that the dog might say. Obviously asking the dog for financial advice or what its favourite colour is, that kind of stuff. But like it's a cool way. The thing around it like is people with PTSD, depression, loneliness with their dog, they want to be able to connect better. And maybe have that, if it's fake, whatever, if it's not exactly legit, but it's an interaction with, if they're lonely and like people with PTSD and they get that connection a bit better. And on top of that, they've got tech behind it. They want to she's a massive advocate for like domestic violence victims and like disadvantaged youth. So like that's that different connection thing to dogs, and they get to like have their best friend, they can talk to it, whatever it is. Like,
And
so
it's an AI dog.
no, the actual app is AI generated tech. The dog's
reads its
normal
body
dog.
language.
It reads like
okay.
what the dog would say, like based on like its body position, tail wag, whatever it is. I don't know. It's obviously a bit over my head that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the dog talking back, and you get to choose all these voices, different languages. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty interesting, eh?
It's really interesting.
Yeah, I was reading a study on PTSD, and what it was actually was, bro, is like people can't fall into a deep sleep. So when we go into REM, which is all the memories from our day flick into the back of our head, and because you can't go into a deep sleep, say there's something traumatic that happens, it gets stuck to the side of your brain.
Yeah.
So say something might trigger it, might be sound, and that's how people get it. But a lot of people, they're starting to do studies over in like Netherlands and stuff, hitting them up with ketamine, like on the special K, then going through therapy, and it's been helping healing them and shit.
too. I heard like the same thing because it just unlocks it. Like it just unlocks that part, and you can talk about it better, and you feel safer. And like I don't know, it's crazy. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
Those things.
Fuck, half of Sydney going through therapy out east.
Mate, yeah. Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The self-induced medication. Yeah.
All right, boys.
Saturday night at Beach Road.
No, I'm just medicating. I'm just trying to do therapy.
Therapy in the toilets, is it?
3 a.m.
Last question. Can you boys want to comp this year?
Yeah, we will, man. Watch your space. Sorry, Roosters fans.
Watch your space.
We'll win the comp.
All right, boys.
At the start of the year.
Yeah, just want to thank you for your time and jumping on. Obviously, welcome back anytime. Obviously, love you guys as people, but say this respectfully. Hopefully, you guys don't win. Guys, thanks
I
for
say it respectfully how this podcast fails.
I remember
With me and you, there's a good chance.
Yeah.
Don't have Mad Monday and Bondi too down at the bottom. Remember
Or
remember
at
last
my
time we
house.
did?
Or at my house.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
never
guy,
again.
oh, far out.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, and see you guys next time.